And my adoring fans just can't help but watch me as I work and film. So much so that even when they're in the middle of brushing their teeth, they flock to see my greatness. Alright, my fellow riders, we are back here in the Hillbilly Garage. Going to continue working on Gregs 700xx. I did a couple things off the camera. I didn't mess with recording. Like, I got my rear plastics on, and these little side pieces back on. I got the air box all cleaned up there. She's ready to go back in when we get to that point. But the next thing we need to do is get our fluids changed. So we're going to go ahead and drain our oil, new filter in there, and the coolant, because this is a liquid cooled machine. Oil is super easy to get at. This is a dry sump system, so you have your little oil reservoir right here with a drain plug right here to drain. Once we have our oil jug drained, we're also going to come over here, and you can see right in here, here's our gear shift lever. There's a bolt right here. This is to drain the oil that would be laying in your bottom of your crankcase. So once we get the oil drained from our oil jug, we're going to go ahead and drain this too so we can get it all out of there. Again, right there. I know it's hard to see. It's dark, but it's in there. Trust me. You got a nice big access hole and underneath here where you can see it. Your oil filters are right here, easy to get at, so I think that's what we'll start with. And then for a coolant, it is right here in this jug. That might take a little more finagling to get in here to the radiator. I may take this little side panel off here, which I think there's just 1, 2, 3 bolts, and that'll come off. That's the goal for today. Let's get at her. Check it out too, guys. It's even been dry enough that my oil pan is actually all thawed out, so we can use her today. This part of the job today should be an easy enough part anyway. Time to get oil on my fingers. Of course I dropped her onto the skid plate. And of course you just have your typical 8mm bolts here for your oil filters. Wow, that's a massive bolt. Now this will be spring loaded as all your typical Honda oil filter cartridges are, as well as a lot of other brands. So keep a little pressure on there as you take your bolts out, or else you're going to have things going fly and you don't want to lose your bolts or your springs. And as usual, this will be making a mess all over the place. It is what it is. This spring is still in there. And this is just your typical Honda filter cartridge. We do have a new rubber gasket to put in there, so we'll replace that at the same time. Just a little fun thing to show you guys while I have this apart here. This, like I said, is a dry sump system, which means the oil goes in this little canister up here. Unlike your conventional engines where the oil just sits in the bottom and then it relies on the movement of the parts of the motor to sling the oil around and lubricate everything basically. With a dry sump system, the oil, because it's in here, is actually pumped up through the motor, runs down through, lubes everything, and then returns back into the canister. So it's just a continual circulation motion. So this right here is your pump. As you can see, it pulls the motor from the bottom, and then it'll shoot it through this return line, which I don't know how well you guys can see it, back in, which then it'll get picked up and sent back in through the top of the motor up here, as you guys can see. So this is your little pump right here that works and spins to pump your oil. So why would something like this have a dry sump? And as a matter of fact, my X4 and the X2s, the Yamaha Wolverines, they have a dry sump system too. And I like the dry sump systems because it provides more consistent circulation of your oil, which means you have more consistent lubrication, Most dry sump systems actually, because they're using a separate reservoir, have more oil capacity. So it's easier to keep your oil cooler because there's just more of it. And plus, like in a sport quad, if this was just a conventional wet sump system and your oil just laid in the bottom of the engine, you peg the throttle in a racing application, all your oil is going to run back to the edge of the motor. And if you're pegged that way for a long time, where you're climbing up real steep hills for any amount of time with your oil running back, you're liable to starve some areas of the engine of oil. But with a wet sump, but with the dry sump system and that constantly being circulated through, you don't have that. Personally, I think a dry sump system like this is better suited for off-road when you're at all kinds of crazy angles and stuff, because again, that just keeps your oil consistently lubricating your engine at all times. No matter if you're on the throttle or in off-camber, steep situations, you'll have consistent oil flow, you'll have consistent cooling and lubrication that way. So just a little fun fact for you guys on the difference between the two. Let's get back to work. Alright, we got our new gasket on our cover plate, our new oil filter. That's an awful small air filter, isn't it? Oil filter. And again, just like your other Hondas, this does have a specific way to go, but it is well labeled. Outside towards filter cover, this side towards engine spring. Make sure you guys always check, make sure your spring is still in there and you have not lost it. Get in there and stick her back in. Reassemble. Voila! Pour a little oil in her. We'll be ready to go. Alright, I did go ahead and take this panel off. As you can see, there was only 3 bolts. One there, and one there to take off because that one was already out from before. There was this little airflow redirector thingy-majigger protector that was clipped on here. It just pulls off and snaps. So now here we can get to our reservoir. We should just be able to pop this line off right here, drain most of our reservoir. Oh, it's just the waiting game. And then to drain the main radiator itself, we probably will have to just go ahead. We'll just pop this hose off right here. Hopefully I can do it without making a big mess all over Greg's four-wheeler. But we should be alright, hopefully. Once that's out, I'm going to flush the radiator with some distilled water real quick. Make sure we get any gunk that might be in there out. The coolant actually looks pretty good though, what's coming out, but I'll still flush it anyway to be on the safe side. And we'll top her back off then. We'll do that until our water comes out nice and clear down here. Alright, that's looking pretty good. I probably used half a gallon. Do just one more flush through and call it quits. But like I said, the coolant that was in this was not in real awful shape. But better play it safe and just go ahead and change it while you're changing everything else, and then you'll be good to go from the start. And we got the genuine Pro Honda HP coolant. This is already a 50-50 blend. You don't have to mix it. You can just pop the top and pour straight in. I think we can get in here without making a big awful mess. So the coolant that we took out was your typical orangish, yellowish color, whatever. And this Pro Honda stuff is blue. So that was not the Pro Honda stuff that was in this. Not that that probably makes much difference. It's probably all the same. But she'll have the actual Honda stuff in her now. And it's a pretty blue. Alright, tank's back on with these little strappies bolted in the front, two 10mm bolts. I got my petcock valve back in. Let's go ahead and throw our cover on here. Wheel it down into place. Pull this fender out a little bit. Down in there. Like so. And the other side. Like so. Oops, come back here now. Like so. Now, which bolts were those? I think these flat ones. Give her a quick little run. Like so. I say like so a lot, don't I? I just got them in a good mood because we're going to be getting close to firing this guy up. Okay. That. Where's the gasket? There it is. Line down through the hole there. Throwing a little gas in there. But right now, just throw it on. And finally, the bonnet. And then we got these little side pieces here to go back on. Last 4 bolts for the body panels. Woo. Alright. I'm going to see if I got a couple bolts for ones down here that were missing. I should have something that'll fit in there. And then all we have left to do is throw in the air box, which I have all cleaned up. Throw in the new battery, which I have all charged up. Air filter. I'll have to give it a quick spray of foam oil. And we'll be ready to see if this guy's going to fire up. Spark plug. Can't forget my spark plug. We got a new spark plug too. I don't want to forget to throw that in there. So I wish I would have remembered that the spark plug was before I put all the body panels back on. Because it would have been easier to get at because it's tucked way in there. But I did manage to get a socket in there and get her out. And actually, by the looks of the spark plug, that doesn't look too bad. I mean, the wear on the spark plug looks pretty good, so I don't think we got to worry about any blow-by piston rings or anything. So that is a very good sign. And look at that nice, shiny spark plug. It's going to go in. Yes, I do have a Spider-Man Band-Aid on. When I was breaking the spark plug free, I kind of went clunk, and I hit the base of my thumbnail right there off of this little metal piece. So just a word of caution, be careful when trying to pull your spark plug. But as I usually say, if you're not bleeding, you're not working hard enough. Alright, let's drop our battery in next. Air box, a little fuel, and moment of truth, we'll see if this guy will fire. Get our battery all weaseled in there. Past everything that's in the way. Definitely tight quarters in here. Almost be easier to, well, there's so many wires. I was thinking it'd almost be easier to take the battery box out, put the battery in, then put the box and wholesale in, but I don't think that would actually be any easier or save us any time, especially when it just slips in like that. Okay. Now I gotta remember how all this stuff went on. That was like that. I think this slipped in like so. Oh, just like that. Like Hot enough through butter. And this bolt holds the battery in there. It's all coming back, it's all coming back to me now. Wow, that takes me back to high school. I'll give you guys a little clue of how old I am. Alright, there's that. And I do believe that... Oh, wait a minute. How did that... Oh yeah, I bet your airbox clips to that. Oh, I see. That goes on there and down there. That's right. Screwdriver. Get excited, guys. Greg probably is too. I might, oh boy, I could be really mean. Not tell him how things are going and just wait till the video goes up before I tell him about anything I've done to this. Because it'll probably be a week or two after I finish the actual work that you guys will actually get to see this video. But I probably won't do that. Alright, so there's our battery. Alright, let's get our air box in there. Get this out of the way. Oh, that's right, I gotta finagle that in here and up through as best as I can. Whoop, I can get my paper towel out of there too. Alright guys, you can see we got our air box in. I got the filter in, so we're going to throw the air box lid on here and add a little gas. We'll see if this guy will fire up. This is probably the most complicated part of the job. Don't know if I can take it, guys. Oh, man, I'm being stressed to the max. Man, that was hard work. Alright, let's hit our key. Uh-oh. Why aren't we getting any lights? I had a battery on the charger. It should be charged. Unless we got a dead battery. I don't know how long Greg had this battery. Let's get the, I got a little, portable jumper. Let me hook it up to that, see if I get any lights. Because I'm not getting any lights. Which means either our battery is not charging, which I've had it on the charger for 2 days, so it should be charged, or it's not any good. Which, I don't know. Let's see. Alright. I got my little portable jumper here. As you can tell, I haven't used it in a long time. We'll see if we can get this on here good enough to, at least not have enough juice to start it. At least so we can see if we can get some lights to tell us whether or not it is just a dead battery or a shot battery. I don't got much room to get in here. That's probably going to pop off. It's probably going to scare me when it does. Yeah, maybe it's on there good. Alright, this guy gets plugged in to the outlet. Then plug this into the wall. Because this little guy, it's a handy little thing, but I don't think it holds a charge anymore, is why I haven't used it. You can plug it into the wall. This is actually rechargeable, so you can charge it, put it in your toolbox, take it with you. But I think it got to the point, and it's old enough it doesn't hold a charge anymore. But it might give us enough juice here, plugged into the wall, to at least see if we get any lights. I'm going to turn the key on. If we get a light up here, then that means that this battery is apparently shot. And we get a battery. Oh, we got all the lights going crazy. Not enough juice though to kick over the starter. So that tells me that our battery is shot. I am gonna try charging this battery with the battery charger. Again, I just had one of these battery juniors, which they're meant to battery charge. Not so much as far as charging battery. We'll let out the battery charger here for a while and see if we can get anything out of it. Otherwise, we get a battery for it. But regardless, you guys that are on the wait, we're gonna cut final outcome right now. Alright guys, it's the next day. I left the battery on the big charger overnight, and according to the charger, it's charged. So I threw her in here already. Let's hit the key and see if we got some lights. That's a good sign. We got lights. I can hear the fuel pump. So let's say we see if this beast is gonna kick over. Let's see what she wants to do. Whoa, the lights are going crazy. Here's what happens when I hit the starter, guys. So I'm thinking that our battery still isn't good enough to start her up. Looks like I'll have to go get another battery for this guy. We'll get a fresh one. Greg did say he had this battery for a while, so it probably just is not holding a charge. Maybe that we got something else electrical going on, but we'll see. I'll go pick up another battery and throw one in it. Maybe that'll work. So once again, let's cut to the new battery. Hey, look what I got. Gotta love the power of editing. Now you guys don't have to wait where I had to wait several days. So here we go. Alright, she's in. Do we have it this time? Lights. Fingers crossed. Well, that's a very good sign. Now I better check, make sure I remember to turn the fuel on. Let's see if we can get this guy to turn over now. She was completely empty of fluids. It's going to take it a bit, I would imagine. Kill switch is on. A minute. She's trying. She's getting sounding better. Gotta get that oil pumped through there so it registers. The double X, I guess I shouldn't call it the double X because kind of what everyone calls it, the Wildcat XX. The 700XX is up and running again. The next time you see this guy, we will be taking her for a ride. one thing I got to do is, you see here, this back tire is flat. She's got a plug and she's leaks. So I got to see if I can seal that up a little bit better. Maybe throw a better plug in there, check for other leaks. So that's what's holding me up from taking a rip today. But I think the rest of the tires are good enough that we can go, oh yeah, we can go for a rip. So next time I see you guys with the TRX700 here, we will get her out on the trail and see what this guy can do. So I hope you guys are excited to see that. Don't forget, if you're new to my channel, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell, and until next time, keep on riding.
Appalachian Mountain Riders is brought to you in part by the following. The Honda Side-by-Side Club, because who knows the machines better than the owners that use them every day. Walker Evans Racing. When the path requires more than just ordinary, head on over to walkerevansracing.com. Torque Locker from Torque Masters Industries. When you want to explore the unexplored, head on over to torquemasters.com. And by my gracious supporters on Patreon.